with the latest twists and turns in the Russian hacking scandal.
President-elect Donald Trump making the extraordinary move, praising Russian President Vladimir Putin for not retaliating against American sanctions. This as dozens of Russian diplomats are being kicked out of the U.S. payback for Russia's alleged interference in the presidential election.
So what is behind Putin's decision not to retaliate? And what about these new reports that the Russians may have hacked into a power company in Vermont? ABC's Mary Bruce is on the story from Washington. Mary, good morning to you.
Good morning. Yeah, this was a shocking 180 from Russia. Experts say Putin's restrained response is likely a sign he's playing the long game, hoping a President Trump will be more receptive. And Trump, as you mentioned this morning, is praising his decision not to fight back. All this as we're now learning a Vermont utility has discovered a code in its system linked to Russian hackers.
This morning, new concerns that Russia may be targeting American utility systems. A code linked with Russian hacking found on a laptop associated with a Vermont electrical company. The apparent hack by the Russians did not disrupt operations, but it raises questions about the security of the U.S. power grid. The discovery comes as President-elect Trump is praising the Russian president for defying calls to retaliate against American sanctions. Trump calling it a great move, tweeting, "I always knew he was very smart." But some members of Congress disagree.
I am frankly very, very scared that our next president hasn't a clue about what Russia is actually up to.
The Russians had promised to counterpunch, the foreign minister threatening to kick U.S. diplomats out of Russia. But then President Putin announced there will be no retaliation, saying we will not create any problems for U.S. diplomats. We will not expel anyone. Instead, Putin welcoming children of U.S. diplomats to a New Year and Christmas children's show at the Kremlin. Experts say it's likely not a magnanimous message for Obama, but a practical one for Trump.
Mr. Putin likely has an expectation that Mr. Trump may put into play policies that will be beneficial to Russian interests.
Questioned if Russia interfered in the U.S. election, but U.S. intelligence says there's no question. And now this morning, Russian diplomats are packing up and getting ready to ship out, after President Obama expelled 35 Russian officials and shut down 2 of their lavish diplomatic compounds. These decadent rooms used for meetings, parties, and allegedly gathering intelligence. Now all off limits.
They have to leave within hours, and it's just not human.
And this morning, another New Year's clock is ticking. Those 35 diplomats and their families, almost 100 people in all, now have until noon tomorrow to leave the U.S. Dan?
Mary, thank you. This hacking controversy is going to go down as a key storyline in what has been an extremely tumultuous year.